It's a larger room, you know, it'll help conform to what we need for, you know, dispatch needs.
Okay. Okay.
Question,
Mm-hmm.
Madam Chair.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. How long has this been contemplated?
Year and a half.
If you knew that you wanted to do that, and you've been working on it, at least mentally, for a year and a half, why wasn't there something put into the budget so that a proper appropriation could have been approved by the commissioners and the delegation to do this, rather than having to, you know, take the dime here, the nickel there, and a quarter there to get it done at the last minute? I just don't understand that. You know, that's why we have a budget. You know, why couldn't you have said, look, we want to make a move, and we need this much money to make the move?
Again, that's the sheriff's decision on how he runs the budget. I'm just telling you the decision he made. I don't know why he didn't come to you earlier. I think he feels as though that the money, he's taken the money from appropriate line items. So I think that's the decision that was made.
Okay. Well, I do feel that it needs to be discussed, because it's money that you're going to have to encumber.
Correct.
I assume you haven't purchased the equipment yet. And so that will need to be, you know, agreed to for all of it with the commissioners. So.
Right, on Wednesday, I got a note. Yep.
Okay.
Can I make just one other observation?
Sure.
You know, if you read the state statute on moving funds from one appropriation to another appropriation, I already mentioned that the Board of Commissioners has promulgated a rule that in order to do so, you have to get permission from the commissioners. And according to your statement, all of the permission was granted. But let me make one other statement clear. The law says that you can move funds from one appropriation to augment another approved appropriation, not to make up a new appropriation. So, you know, if there's no appropriation in the budget, there's no line item in the budget that says moving dispatch, what was done was basically, you know, in contrast to what the law states. The law says you can move an appropriation, but only from another approved appropriation, to augment it, not to make up a new one.
So do you don't think that the dispatch furniture falls under new equipment?
No. The law also says, if you look up what the meaning of the word appropriation, it is a specific amount of funds to be spent for a specific purpose. You know, and I know that some people will put on a heading, a line item, you know, equipment, and that takes in 50,000 different things. It doesn't work that way. If it says equipment, there should be an addendum to that line item that says what the equipment is and specified. According to the law, it has to be specified.
Okay.
Okay. Well, take it up with the
Yep.
with the commissioners on Wednesday, if you will. Okay. Then I have his second question was, by what authority was a sheriff's prosecutor hired?
That's right. That's right.
I don't know. What authority does the sheriff need to hire a prosecutor?
No, not need to hire. By what authority did he hire a prosecutor?
I can tell you the sheriff decided that there was a need for it and went out and hired one. I mean, does he need an authority to hire a employee?
He's got to pay him. There's got to be an appropriation somewhere to pay him.
Mm-hmm.
And without that appropriation, he can't hire him. Unless he wants to pay him out of his pocket, maybe.
Okay.
So, am I of the understanding that in the sheriff's department, there should also be somebody here that's a prosecutor?
But yes, I guess on the organizational chart there would be. That probably was omitted, but he is an employee of he does work for the sheriff's office. So he probably, I don't know where he would fall into the organizational chart, probably under Sergeant Bedley.
May I, where are the funds coming from to pay him?
I believe he's taking it out of salaries.
I have deputies' salaries? He's not a deputy.
I'll notify him. I'll let him know that you're concerned.
Okay. Is this a full-time position or a part-time position, or?
It averages out to about 8 hours a week, so part-time.
And so I would assume then that the money would be coming out of the part-time salary line?
That I can't answer. I know it's coming out of salaries. I don't know which actual line item it's coming out of, but it could be.
Okay, well, we'll need an
Yeah.
answer for that if we could.
May I, Madam Chair? Again, when did you foresee, not you, but when did the sheriff or the sheriff's department, however you want to word it, when did you foresee the need for a prosecutor?
It came to my attention the sheriff was looking at it sometime in the middle of the year.
After the budget was already made up?
I believe so.
Well, again, you know, that you can advise perhaps the sheriff that there is a procedure in state law and the RSAs relative to county government and budgets where he can come to the delegation. He doesn't even have to go through the commissioners. It states specifically that a department head can do it. Come to the delegation and request an emergency expenditure of funds. And all it takes is one meeting, public meeting, to discuss it, and then the delegation can vote yes or no. That's the proper way to do it, rather than just do it and say, I'm going to take the money out of here or there or whatever. It's a very simple matter. I have an emergency need. I'd like to hire a deputy or a prosecutor part-time. It's an emergency. We have to have them, and I'd like your permission to do it. That's all it takes.
Okay. I'll let him know.
Madam Chairman? I think what the sheriff was trying to do was to relieve the deputies of doing prosecution. And so he hired this prosecutor to handle that, to free up the deputies. Now, it might not be in the rules to hire a prosecutor. He could hire that prosecutor as a deputy, and that deputy then could assume the prosecuting responsibilities. That could be done that way. I don't think, is the prosecutor a deputy?
No.
No.
That's where we're wrong.
But it's being paid out of deputies' salaries, right? He's being out of that line item?
I believe so. I'd have to double check. I'm not sure. So.
See, that's where the problem is.
Yeah, I got that. Yep.
Okay. Let's turn now to the questions that we had on the budget. And I think that what we'll do is that I had sent some questions down, as did Representative McCarthy. And so we'll start with the questions I sent, since I'm the chairman. And then we'll follow up with...
Well, I think I went through most of yours and deleted, if I had the same thing, deleted it, so we weren't redundant. But
right. Okay. Admin's admin salaries.
That's myself and Teresa Shackford.
Okay. So this is the lieutenant, and she's a secretary, right? Or
Admin assistant.
admin assistant. Okay. All right. And I assume that last year this is where the captain's salary was coming from?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Again, please, my hearing, the admin salaries include yourself and who else?
Teresa Shackford. Teresa Shackford,
One of the secretaries?
admin assistant, yes.
Admin assistant, okay.
Point of order, Madam Chairman.
Yes?
I can't hear the lieutenant down here either. It includes 3 people?
Two.
2 people. Thank you.
Okay, going on to personal days. Can you explain this?
Which one is it?
Personal days.
Yeah, I got that too.
I think the personal days, there's 15 personal days per deputy, and that's based on, and so it's an 8-hour day. And I gotta believe the increase is because of the contract increase per wages for the upcoming year.
And so when one of the deputies takes a personal day.
Which is the same as a sick day.
Uh-huh.
Personal sick day is the same thing.
Oh, it's, okay, so
Yeah.
they're inclusive.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's better.
okay. And so if that occurs, then you have to bring somebody in to fill the slot or fill the place, or do you?
Depends on the day, depends on what's going on, depends on what that person's position is, but
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
But the day is paid, if they take that day off,
Mm-hmm.
say Deputy Ken takes that day off, it doesn't come out of the salary, it comes out of the personal days line item, that one day.
That doesn't make sense. He gets extra money for his personal days?
Nope,
Oh.
no, it's just taken out of a different place in the budget, that's all.
Oh, okay. So what you're saying is that if I'm working, then I get paid out of the salary line.
Mhm.
If I take a personal day, then that day gets paid out of the personal time.
That's correct.
And why do we do that?
Again, I'm new to this process, I wasn't the one who set it up, but it's just, I think it's so they can track the benefits and track the contract and so forth. And they can set the right amount of budgets, because we still have to budget for 15 days for each employee, so if they take all 15 days, instead of just a 40-hour work week.
Okay? Yes.
And part of,
Yes,
well, and
thank you, Madam Chair. May I?
Sure.
I think I understand the concept, and I'm sure that this, this comes under the Teamsters contract and the rest of it. My question, however, is the amount. In 2009, you used $20,000. In 2010, it was only $18,000. Last year, as of the 1st of October, you've only used $869, but yet you're asking for almost $27,000. Why the increase? In fact, and you have less people to be concerned with because you have fewer deputies, but you're asking for from the last year, from 2010, you're asking for an $8,000 increase.
I believe that normally you budget for the max. Okay.
we budget for the max, and part of the things that we have to deal with the personal days is at the end, per the contract, at the end of the year, they get paid for 75% of any unused personal/sick days